Hello, I'm Maker410 and welcome to my channel where I focus on 3-inch revolvers and firearms chambered in the 410 bore shot shell. Let's check out today's video.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. In today's video, we're going to be shooting 3 different brands of 32 Smith & Wesson Long Wadcutters with hollow bases from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 revolvers chambered in everything from 32 Smith & Wesson Long to 327 Federal Magnum, with barrel lengths from 1 1/7/8 inch all the way up to 5.5 inches. We're doing this because there is, we're doing FPS testing only for this. And we're doing this because there is some indication that hollow base wadcutters, which all 3 of these are, might kind of gas check themselves in the barrels as the bullet goes down the barrel. So the hollow base might expand out a little bit because it's a soft lead and allow the wadcutter to achieve more uniform velocities across all of these revolvers, no matter the cylinder gap and the exact diameter of the bore. And since I don't have the ability to measure the exact diameters of these bores, we're going to try to use that concept to see if we can get some consistent feet per second increase across barrel length from the 1 7/8 inch Smith & Wesson 432 UC all the way up to the 5.5 inch GP 100. Because we haven't gotten that consistency across revolvers so far with our 32 H&R Magnum testing. And the standout in that testing has always been the professional from Charter Arms, usually getting between 75 and 100 feet per second more, no matter the load, than any of the other comparable revolvers. Let me actually introduce each revolver. We have the Smith & Wesson 432 Ultimate Carry UC with 1 7/8 inch barrel. We have a Taurus 327 with a 2-inch barrel. This guy's chambered in 327, hence the 327. This guy is chambered in 32 H&R Magnum. Then we have another Taurus 327. This is their T.O.R.O model with a 3-inch barrel. It's cut, it's optic ready right out of the box, and it has had its hammer, its spurless hammer, swapped with the spurred hammer that comes with the 327 2-inch barrel. I did that so that the 2-inch barrel will be a little bit better as a pocket pistol, and the 3-inch barrel would be a little bit better as a field or kit gun. Then we have our Ruger SP101, chambered in 327 Federal Magnum with a 3-inch barrel. Then we have our Charter Arms Professional, chambered in 32 H&R Magnum with a 3-inch barrel. Here's kind of our outlier. This is a Model 4 Arminius 7-shot 32 Smith & Wesson Long revolver. This guy's a little old, he's a little used up, and if anybody's going to give us any problems, it'll be him, but I think he's in good enough shape that everything should go okay. And then finally, we have our Ruger GP 100 in 327 with a 5.5 inch barrel. And this guy, in all the testing we've done so far with him, the main advantage to him is that his weight will eat the recoil of 327 Federal Magnum quite nicely, but he's not getting really any better performance feet per second wise than any of the 3-inch models. So hopefully we'll see some actual differences between all 3 of these with the hollow base wadcutters. And I'm hoping that there will be a nice progression curve. So we'll find out. And I hope you guys enjoy finding out with me. So as to the actual ammunition itself, we have 3 types with us today. We have some ancient Fiocchi 32 Smith & Wesson Long Wadcutters. They're 100 grain. None of these have any velocities listed on them, so I have no idea what to really expect, but I imagine it'll probably be somewhere between 700 and 900 feet per second. And we can see the hollow base here. Now, because I wasn't able to pull the Wadcutters out of their casing using a bullet hammer, a bullet extracting hammer, and an inertial hammer, because of how flush they are and how deep they sit in, I shot all of these off camera into some used ballistics gel to be able to confirm that they were all hollow based. Those ballistics gel results are pretty simple, but the gel itself was so cloudy and used up, it didn't look good on camera, or I knew it wouldn't look good on camera, so I just shot them off camera. And our results are 15.5 inches of penetration with a nice ice pick channel from the Fiocchi. The cellar and bellet got 19.5 inches, so it went into a second block, and a nice ice pick channel. And then the Magtech got 16 and some odd inches and stayed in the first block. So all 3 of them performed exactly like I would expect. A simple straight channel about the diameter of the bullet with good penetration. The 19 inches might be a bit much, but only a tiny amount much. So they would all meet that requirement that everybody loves to check on YouTube and everything. So the Fiocchi is 100 grains, the cellar and bellet are 100 grains, and the Magtech are 98 grains. So for the first batch of testing, I will just use our Garmin chronograph to shoot everything all the way through, the 200 grains, the Fiocchi, and the cellar and bellet, and then I'll switch over to the Magtech and then put in the grainage into the Garmin and go from there. So it'll be one continuous shot of me doing FPS through all of these for each bullet type. And then you and I will see you guys will see the averages on camera in the video. I won't see those until after, when I do all the calculations, when I'm editing the video. So anyway, let me bring you guys closer in and show you the bullets and show you the revolvers, and then we'll get shooting. As we can see, very little deformation in the bullets after they were shot into the ballistics gel. Okay, everybody, we have our Fiocchi 100 grain lead wadcutters loaded up. We're starting with our Smith & Wesson 432, 658.6, 637 or 673.2, and 634.1. Now we have our T.O.R.O 327, 618.6, 594.6, and 630.3. We have our T.O.R.O 327 with a 3-inch barrel. This will be our first fun indicator of any difference. 667.1, 645.1, and 635.1. Now we have our Charter Arms Professional. If there's going to be any real difference, any outlier, it'll probably be this guy. 695.8, 672.0, and 664.4. So only a mild difference, but there was more feet per second there than out of the Taurus. Let's see if that stays the same with the Ruger SP101. 659.2, 686.6, and 635.0. Not too bad. Now we're going to do the Arminius, which is actually chambered in 32 Smith & Wesson long. 713.9, 700, and 716.4. Okay, so there was an actual increase in velocity there. That looks appropriate for having an extra inch of barrel, especially out of these very gentle target loads. And now we are doing the GP100. 696, 679.3, and 690.8. All right, so that's some of the stuff that we were curious about, you know. The best performing one was the 4-inch one, that the Arminius, that was actually chambered in 32 Smith & Wesson long. I'm going to empty these all out, reload in with some Cellar and Bellet, and get back to you guys. Everybody, we're all set, and all the revolvers are loaded up with Cellar and Bellet. 100 grain Wadcutter, 32 Smith & Wesson long, and we're starting with our Smith & Wesson 432 UC. 651.2, 643.6, and 651.8. Now, something I want to point out for people that have little experience, these Wadcutter loads are very light, very mild. They're target loads, but they would act as a very nice alternative to 22 long in any sort of self-defense firearm, if the cost difference between 32 Smith & Wesson long and 22 long rifle wasn't a factor for you. Okay, so now we're on to our Taurus 327. 654.7, 666.2, and 651.3. Our Taurus 327 T.O.R.O. With 3-inch barrel. 661.6, 667 or 679.9, and 670.1. Those seem very consistent. I'll have a better idea when I'm checking the footage. On to our Charter Arms Professional in 32 H&R mag. 666.7, 673.7, and 632.9. Now we're on to our Ruger SP101, the last of our 3-inch models. 662.2, 665.5, and 670.4. We're on to our Arminius 4-inch model. This one I'm hoping to see in the 700s. Let's see if it attains those numbers. 661.8, 658.8, and 673.1. That was a little disappointing. And lastly, our GP100. I have a feeling it'll probably be in the 660s. 687.5, 682.1, and 694.4. Okay, so a little bit of a pickup there, but not necessarily worth 2 inches of barrel and about 20 ounces of weight. I'm going to get everybody loaded up for the Magtech. Okay, everybody, we're all set up to start shooting the 98 grain lead wad cutter from Magtech. Let's see if that 2 grain difference makes a difference in feet per second. Starting with the Smith & Wesson 432, 655.1, 617.1, and 614. Next, we'll be doing our Taurus 327 with the 2-inch barrel, 651.7, 645.4, and 604.9. Now we have our Taurus T.O.R.O with a 3-inch barrel, 627.6, 632.1, 680.4. Onto our Charter Arms Professional with a 3-inch barrel, 666.7, 672.0, and 694.7. Our final 3-inch model, the Ruger SP101, 632.6, 662.6, and 660.7. Onto our Arminius. If anybody's going to get us into 700 feet per second, it'll be this guy, but I doubt we'll see it. 718.7, make a liar out of me. 722.9, and 683.3. So it made a liar out of me just enough to do so. All right, and finally we have our GP100 in 327 with a 5.5-inch barrel, 720.8, 638. Man, that's a heck of a difference. I think that's probably the biggest difference we've seen all day. And 677.1. Okay, well, there you have it, folks. All of those loads were gentle, mild, easy to shoot, relatively accurate. I'm sitting at about 15 yards from my target. Double action pulls all the way through. I did want to say that the initial gel shots that I did with those numbers that I reported of 15.5 inches, 19 inches, and 16 inches were all done with the 1 1/7/8 inch Smith & Wesson 432. I think just about everybody could have a lot of fun with these loads. They're great loads for plinking and for having a good time. I just shot a whole bunch of loads out of them, and nothing about it was uncomfortable in the slightest. Okay, guys, I hope you found this video informative. I sure did, and I'll see you in the next one.